Are they trying to box in Republicans to vote on only one part of the Bush tax cuts, allowing rates on thousands of small business owners to go up? Republican Congressman Tom Price of Georgia was just elected chairman of the House Republican Policy Committee. This is the GOP's fifth-ranking leadership position. He joins us from inside the Beltway. And right here in New York, joining us is Betsy McCoy, who points out in today's Wall Street Journal that lame duck sessions like the one we're in may be against the spirit of the Constitution. We'll get into that in just a moment. But, Congressman, what do you think Harry Reid is up to?
Well, I think he's up to the same thing he's been up to for the past 4 years, and that is no good. He's trying to raise taxes on the American people and American small businesses at a time of economic challenge, and it's simply the wrong thing to do. And that's compounded by the fact that we're now in this lame duck session, which is the time between an election and when the new Congress is sworn in. And with the remarkable statement that the American people made 2 weeks ago, we have 84 new Republicans coming to Congress. None of those individuals are able to sit until January 3rd, and consequently we've got the old Congress sitting making policy when the new Congress ought to be enacting policy.
Going against the wishes of the electorate in the last midterms. Now, sure. I have in my hand, Betsy, the precious Constitution of the United States, which I keep close to me all the time. I'm looking at the 20th Amendment.
Yes.
It doesn't specifically outlaw lame duck sessions, but you say in 1933 when it was made, that was its intention.
That was its intention, and the situation we're in now is that we have at least 60 members of the House and several members of the Senate who failed to win re-election and yet are going to be making very important decisions for the American people.
And specifically,
they lack that
on
moral
the 20th
that.
Amendment was enacted in 1933.
That's right.
That was at a time when Congress wasn't in session as often as they're in session now, right?
That's right. When the Constitution was originally written, elections occurred in November, and the new Congress did not take its seat until March because it took months to travel to the Capitol in the middle of winter by horse and wagon over frozen rivers.
So the clear intention of the 20th Amendment was to eliminate a lame duck session, like
Absolutely.
The one we're in right now.
And so they rescheduled when the new Congress would take office to January 3rd, never dreaming that in that 7-week period between the November election and January 3rd,
there would be critical legislation.
Yes, but this is part of the politicians' bag of tricks. They wait until after the election to face the important issues like how much spending there will be, how high taxes will be.
They use the lame duck session. But Congressman, is there some way to get back to the intent of the 20th Amendment of the Constitution and eliminate these decisions, these critical decisions from being made by a lame duck?
Well, we tried to do that. In fact, I offered some resolutions that would have made it so that you couldn't have a lame duck session, offered those before the election, and they were voted down basically along party lines. At this point, it requires leadership unless we were to change the 20th Amendment. In 1933, as Betsy so clearly pointed out, air travel didn't exist, so it would even be difficult to get back to Washington, get everybody back there within a 7-week period of time. But now what's happening is that the party in power tends to delay their decision-making on pivotal issues. Right. The Democrat majority hasn't passed a single appropriations bill this year, and they postponed it until after the election because they thought it would not be to their electoral benefit
Congressman,
to do so.
You are accusing them of waiting for election. Do you think they knew because a lot of people saw this blowout in the elections coming. Do you think they waited specifically for the lame duck to pass these things?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. In fact, Harry Reid admitted that and talked about it. Speaker Pelosi did. She said, wait until the lame duck. We'll get those things done then. And the president said so. Don't worry about it. We'll wait until the lame duck. Now, they're going to have a difficult time getting all of the things that they want passed, but the American people ought not suffer under a party that has been replaced from power without putting the new folks in charge and have significant policy changes put in place. Right. If the purpose of the lame duck is simply to make certain that the government doesn't close down, which we ought not to make happen, make certain that the government continues running, then that's fine. But to increase spending by over $1 trillion, to increase taxes on the American people and American businesses, that's just wrong.
Well,
that's the
Betsy,
kind of politics that the American people are sick and tired of.
As the Congressman just said, we have to focus on not only taxes, but spending. There are a lot of spending programs. Mitch McConnell says if this election showed us anything, it's that Americans don't want Congress passing massive trillion-dollar bills that have been thrown together behind closed doors. But it's happening.
Fortunately, Republicans in the Senate have enough votes to prevent an omnibus spending bill that would be well over $1 trillion and look thicker than a phone book, prevent it from passing until the Republicans take over in in January. Then the Republican members of the House can pass reasonable incremental appropriations legislation to control spending and at the same time defund Obamacare and spare the nation.
Well, Congressman, if we are at an impasse right now on the tax issue, that means that if you get your way and the lame duck doesn't pass a new tax hike, what will happen is it'll go into next year. Does that mean we're going to have to do all this retroactive stuff? And because on the first of the year, taxes go up for everybody.
Sure. Well, that's wrong as well, David, as you well know. What the American people and American businesses need is certainty. And so we ought to extend the current tax rates just for all, not increase taxes on any American or any American business. There are the votes right now, as Mr. Pence said earlier in your show, there are the votes right now in the House of Representatives to pass the continuation of current tax rates for the foreseeable future. Right now, those votes are present in the House of Representatives,
well, again,
and that's what we ought to do.
As Betsy has pointed out in the Wall Street Journal, this Constitution was not written for nothing. There's some very specific reasons why the 20th Amendment is in there, and not doing critical things that overturn an election during a lame duck is one of those things. Thank you very much, Betsy McCoy, Tom Price. Good to see you.